Ladies and gentlemen, we meet again towards Parashat Vayishlach, and we have a very interesting parasha, which actually goes into the intricate understanding of how to relate to Esav, how Yaakov understands Esav's role in Jewish history. And this is quite a shocking idea, because Yaakov now is coming back after he hasn't seen Esav for 34 years, 20 years in the house of Lavan, and then 14 years he was learning Torah at Shem Ve'ever. And towards this meeting, he is very much afraid. And he sends a message to his brother, saying to him, Im Lavan Garti. Where have I been all these years? I've been living with Lavan. And the Garti, the Rashi's there says two different explanations. The first explanation, Lo na'aseti sar chashuv, Garti is from the word ger, which means a stranger. I haven't really got my own land. I haven't really established myself anywhere. I'm just wishy-washy. I'm just a stranger in the land. And therefore I'm not an important person. And if I'm not an important person, that means that the blessings that I stole from our father didn't come true in any case. So you've got no reason to hate me. That is the first pirush. And then it says davar acher, a second thing, is Garti are the letters of Garti, Gimel Reish Taf Yud are the letters of Taryag, which means 613. Even though I was by Lavan, I still kept 613 mitzvot. Asks the Kli Yaakov, Rabbi Ephraim Lunchin, 16th century, asks a very interesting question. And he says, 1 second, these two Perushim seem to contradict each other. Why do they contradict each other? Because on the first Perush, when he says, I'm a stranger and I'm a bit of a nebuch, I haven't been so successful in life, and therefore the blessings of our father didn't come true in any case. So he's looking down. He's saying he's a bit of a nebuch. He's not such a successful person, and therefore he's looking down when he speaks to Esav. However, the second pair says in Lavan Garti, I lived in the house of Lavan for 20 years, and I kept all the mitzvahs. I'm a great guy. I'm an important person. He's looking up at Esav and saying, you know what? You can't touch me. I'm a good person. I'm a tzaddik. You don't do bad things to tzaddikim. So there are two different messages on these two pirushim. So it says the Kli Yaakov a very interesting insight, and he says, you know what? They're not two pirushim. It's the same pirush, but the same pirush. We have to, I think, to understand this better. We have to, the Kli Yaakov, to understand it better, we have to look at the Malbim, who talks in the previous Parsha, takes us all the way back to that moment of Yaakov stealing the brachot from Esav, and the moment that Yitzchak Avinu finds out, he all of a sudden, the penny drops, he understands that Yaakov stole the blessings. What does it say? Esav comes with the food to his father, and all of a sudden Yitzchak understands. It says, he was absolutely overwhelmed with sorrow. He was kind of, it doesn't say anywhere in the whole Tanakh, there's such an exceptional expression of disaster. He was totally shocked and totally in despair. He was beside himself. Why was he beside himself? Because Yaakov got the bracha. Is that a reason to be so shocked? I mean, in any case, at the end of the pasuk, he says, Gam baruch yeh, which means it's okay that Yaakov got the bracha. He can keep it. It isn't that he was so angry and he said, where's Yaakov? Bring him to me. What is this all about? He stole the bracha. No, it's okay. So he's got that bracha. He was fine with that. So what was he so shaken up about? So the Malbim explains, already to Avraham, the promise was, Ki b'Yitzchak yikoreh l'chazor. which means Yitzchak will establish the people of Israel. Yitzchak is the big promise. And Yitzchak knows he is the promise. And from him we have Yaakov and Esau. That means Yaakov and Esau will bring about Am Yisrael together. How will they do it together? So Esau Yitzchak loves Esau, and Rivka loves Yaakov, as the Psukim say to us. Why is that? How does this come about? Because Yitzchak has a very good plan. He says he can see that Esau is an extrovert, outgoing, and he's hunting. And he sees Yaakov as a bit of an introvert, more into Torah, more into sitting and learning and doing mitzvahs. So he says, you know what? Since my children have to establish Am Yisrael, this is tremendous. We'll make a Yisachar Zvulun out of them. We will make I'm going to make them a team, and Esau will be the chief in command, and he will be in charge of security, and he'll be in charge of the army, and he'll be in charge of the finances and running the country. And you know what? And Yaakov will do their Torah and mitzvahs, and they will work together like Yisachar Zvulun, and they will support each other. And that was Plan A. And that is why when Yaakov came in to steal the bracha, what is the bracha that he stole? A very physical bracha. He doesn't give any spiritual bracha to Yaakov, thinking that he's Esau. Because Esau could only get the physical bracha. Only later on, before he goes and he leaves the home, he gives him a v'yiten lecha a second time, and then he gives him Birkas Avraham, and Birkas bracha of Eretz Yisrael, and bracha of spirituality. Yaakov ends up getting both. So what is Esau's role in the future of Jewish life? Yitzchak was very shocked, because we have to move to Plan B. And Plan B is shocking. What is Plan B? According to the Malbim, Plan B is together they will make sure that Am Yisrael is an eternal nation. How come? Yaakov gets also the spiritual and the physical blessing, and it's Esau's job to make sure he keeps to it, because it says if he doesn't keep Torah mitzvahs, so Esau has permission to attack Yaakov. According to this Malbim, Yitzchak instigated anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is part of God's plan to keep Torah mitzvahs for Yaakov to keep on the derech. It's a terrible, terrible explanation. It reminds me, my mother, who was a sole survivor from Auschwitz, said at the Pesach table, Seder table, every year, she used to say, I was saying, what does that mean? It's a question and an answer. I was saying, what is it that kept us all together? What kept us going all the years? What kept us going throughout the generations? The answer is, every time we are too spread out, and we're not considering each other, and we're splintered off, and we are going off the derech. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings us an Esau, brings us anti-Semitism, and forces us to get together. I want to say this is a terrible explanation, but that's what the Malbim says, and therefore we understand the Kli Yakar we said in the beginning, because the Kli Yakar says this is the same. The two answers of Rashi are part of the same. It's actually one answer. The first answer is, look, I haven't become such an important person. And therefore you shouldn't hate me, because the blessings of our Father didn't happen. And therefore, since you are in charge of anti-Semitism, you cannot attack me either, because I've kept Taryag mitzvahs. I've kept 613 mitzvahs, and therefore you are not allowed to attack me at this moment, because your job is to keep me on the derech, and I am on the derech. And therefore, the two parts of Rashi are actually one. I just want to end off by saying we're still in the middle of a terrible war against the enemy. And we have to work things out. We have to work things out. We have to understand what is the right relationship to this enemy. In the meantime, what we can see is that Am Yisrael has become incredibly united. So many people have signed up to IDF. So many Haredi people have signed up to IDF. So many people have come from abroad to sign up to IDF. So many people have sent in money and have sent in, I don't know, protective vests and protective helmets. And all the Jews around their world are doing so much chesed. And the soldiers themselves are protecting Am Yisrael with such mesirus nefesh that really, if we think of the days previous to this war, if we think of what happened here in Israel on Yom Kippur, and the days previous to that, we were so splintered off, we were so different, we were so separated. Comes Esav with anti-Semitism, and he's the person. His role in Jewish history is to make us stick together, and we see it with our own eyes today. Hopefully, we should be able. Our bracha is to be able to stick together in spite of our success. And we should never need Esau to remind us.